Oh my God, we've had this jobs report in Canada. This month's jobs report, unbelievably bad. Like, wait, we knew it was going to be bad, but this was bad, like bad. So 60,000 lost jobs. In other words, 60,000 more lose jobs than hire. We got coming off 40,000 plus last month. We're over 100,000 jobs lost in just 2 months. Now, okay, there's two ways to look at this. If you're a mortgage people like me, or you've got a mortgage coming up, maybe good news, because the Bank of Canada is being pushed steadily towards a cut. I told you there would be a cut. I've been telling everybody to be a cut for months now. Okay, I knew the economy was going to tank. It was just obvious. It didn't take any sort of a genius. Nobody should say they were a genius for knowing the economy was going to go into the toilet, because it was obvious to everyone, just waiting for the reports to catch up. These reports are always lagging. They're always behind. But now that there's absolute proof, it pushes the Bank of Canada to make a move. So, other side of this thing is, this is a disaster. This is a disaster for average human beings and families, okay? This is horrible. Like, losing a job is, in many cases, just traumatic. I mean, it's an unaffordable country, Canada. High tax, very expensive. We've had endless food inflation, like endless food inflation, which is the one thing everybody shares. We've got all kinds of costs coming at us constantly. And somebody who's bringing money into a household, that money suddenly stops. Yeah, I get it. There's termination pay, there's severance, there's whatever. But it is a major blow to every household. So let's just all have a really sincere degree of sympathy for these people who've lost their jobs. And there's going to be more people lose their jobs. There's just no question about where this is headed. Now, where is it the worst? Okay, Ontario, like just bad. Like, we're looking at like 11% unemployment in Windsor, Ontario. We got Toronto is bad. It's bad. Youth unemployment is off the charts. Apparently, it's the worst youth unemployment, I think, since the world. We just take COVID out of the picture, because everybody was getting $2,000 a month in COVID. Even 17-year-olds are getting $2,000 a month. So forget about COVID. But since the world financial crisis in 2008, 2009, this is the worst youth unemployment. Like, that's bad, really bad. So, and Alberta. Alberta is taking some hits. Now, in Alberta, it's a combination of two things. It's a combination that Alberta invited everybody in Canada to come to Alberta, and a lot of people took them up in the offer. Alberta's got a lot to go on for it. It had good job scenarios. It has a really intelligent approach to housing. Their housing costs are much lower than they are. They've gone way up in the last 4 years, but they're much better, and better housing selection, much more low-rise housing, single-family townhouses, etc. Just a lot more housing that people want at prices that are, particularly in Edmonton, at prices that are quite rational. Okay, but things are changing. Real estate is falling off in Alberta, particularly Calgary. Edmonton's still okay-ish, but 8.5% in Alberta. That's a lot. That's because, let's face it, it's still energy oriented. Energy prices are down. It's just that simple. So, bad news, simple, easy prediction. Next one also bad. Next one also job losses. The next report will also show job losses. So, in theory, this means the Bank of Canada, and by the way, the odds through analysts, doing a poll of analysts of all this stuff, the bank analysts, traders, etc., odds of the Bank of Canada cutting jumped as high as 90% certainty today for a cut on September 17th. And yes, they're maybe a cut on September 17th. But I'm not just frantically focused on it, because what I want to make clear to everyone is cuts are coming. Notice I said cuts, not one cut. By the way, there's never one cut. You can look back on the history of rate cuts. like one cut and stop for months and months after that. That occurs like once in a quarter century. Okay, so there will be two cuts. There'll be one cut, next announcement, another cut. So two straight cuts. That's what to expect. So whether it starts in September, whether it starts in October and finishes in December, whatever it is, we're getting two cuts this year. So let's just not obsess about whether it's September. Just understand there's two cuts coming. What does two cuts mean? It means that variable rate mortgages, which let's say on the high side are like 4.45 today, and on the low side is 3.95, they're going to go to, on the high side, 3.95. And if you have a variable rate mortgage, well, if you've got one from a couple of banks, if you got them from some banks, nothing will happen to your payment. But if you got some from Scotia National Bank, then your payments will actually go down. So it means 3.95 to 3.45. Yeah, there'll be a bunch of people who have mortgages around 3.45, 3.55, 3.65. That's going to happen. Absolutely, 100%. Stamp it. Done. So what does this really mean? So everybody jump into variable? Oh yeah, got to be variable. Oh yeah, I'm going variable. And by the way, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I will tell you this: when variable is a better deal than fixed, people take variable. They don't think too much about it. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some people who always believe in the safety of fixed, and they stick with it. But when the cuts actually show up on variable, we're going to see a growth in that product category. 100% guaranteed. But is it the right move? Okay, look, for some people, of course it is. If you plan on making a move with your house next year, yes, it would be great. You're certain of a move, you're going to be selling, you're going to be changing something. Just go with variable. The rate's going to be good, and you are going to see a very low penalty if you have to break that mortgage. So that's good. But understand this, variable, you could even see 1% drop. If the economy's that bad, you could even see a 1% drop in the course of, the first half of 2026. Two cuts now, two cuts later. It's possible. It's not impossible. Let's be clear. But here's what I talk to everybody about. The most volatile economic financial times since I've been in the mortgage business, 30 years. I don't know what's going to happen next month. I mean, I know there's going to be two cuts, but that's about it. So it's volatile. If I think it's going to be good to have variable in 2026, it might turn out to be a disaster in 2027 or even at the end of 26. So here's my plea. If you can get a fixed rate for a number of years, 3 years, 5 years, that's under 4%, it's still a good idea. It's not a bad idea. Variable is looking good, but it can turn on you. And when it does turn on you, you won't have the time to grab the great fixed rate. The great fixed rate would all be long gone. So pay attention to good fixed rates that start with a 3. That's my message.